Beelzebub is the Greek translation of Beelzebub. Who is that? He's a pagan Philistine god worshipped in the Philistine city in the Old Testament times. He's also called the Lord of the Flies in 2 Kings 1:2. And the two names put together is Baal, the fertility god of the Canaanite gods, and Zebul, or this, means the dwelling place. So really, Beelzebub is talking about the place where Baal lived. So let's talk about Satan, because he's the most famous demon. So the word Satan is not a name, it's a title. Much like I talked about, angels are not names, but they're titles of functions, right? So like the Malachim or the Seraphim, those are functional titles. So they're not Mr. Seraphim or Mr. Malachim or Mr. Satan. That's not their name. It's a title about the function of this demon. So this demon, Satan, the word Satan is actually, later on, 1 Peter 5:8, is called the adversary. So this is the primary enemy of God himself, because he is the one who rules over all the other demons, but he is one of the demons as well. Another name for him is accuser, Revelation 12:10. He accuses God's people kind of with lies and deception. He's called the father of lies. That's how Jesus called him in John 8:44. 1 John 3:8 tells us that he is the originator of sin, which goes back to the fall account, Genesis 3. He is the one that brought sin into the world, not God, right? It was him that tempted Adam and Eve. And then the interesting passage in Matthew chapter 12, this is the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, where Jesus heals a man. And then everyone says, all the Pharisees were saying that Jesus did it by the power of Beelzebub. While the other people were saying, maybe he's the son of David, the Pharisees saying he does it by the power of Beelzebub. Well, Beelzebub is literally Beelzebub. And do you guys remember who Baal was? He was the idol in the Old Testament, the main one that Elijah was fighting against, Baal. So Beelzebub, Beelzebub is the Greek translation of Beelzebub. Who is that? He's a pagan Philistine god worshipped in the Philistine city in the Old Testament times. He's also called the Lord of the Flies in 2 Kings 1:2. And the two names put together is Baal, the fertility god of the Canaanite gods, and Zebul, or this, means the dwelling place. So really, Beelzebub is talking about the place where Baal lives. That's what it means. So where Baal is, that area. So when they said that about Jesus, that's why it was considered blasphemy, because even though he's using God's power to heal, they say he's taking it from Baal's power to heal. He's doing it through the power of Baal, Beelzebub, the place that Baal lives. And so that later became a title for Satan, because it was understood that Satan works from the power that Baal lives, or the idols live, the dwelling place of Baal. 2 Corinthians 6:15, he is also called Belial. Paul calls Satan Belial. Now, what does that term mean? So Paul is saying, what does Belial and Christ have in common? So he puts them in contrast to one another. Belial is another compound word, which comes from the Hebrew word not, and then profit or benefit. Benefit or profit. So meaning, Belial is of no profit, no benefit to you. So again, a lot of these names, we think these are the names of these things. They're not names. A lot of times they're describing the function of it. So the power, Satan himself is of no profit to you, no benefit to you. That's the idea of Belial. And so Belial itself became a personification of not just Satan in the Old Testament, but of evil itself. Evil things in the Old Testament were called Belial. This is of no profit to you, no benefit to you. So Beelzebub is the place where Baal lives, the power that Baal gives. And Belial means no profit, no benefit to you whatsoever. Therefore, you should not join Belial and Christ together. That's Paul's argument. Because you're joining Christ with something that brings no profit or benefit to you at all. Great dragon, that's another term for Satan in Revelation chapter 12, verse 3. And then finally, deceiver, which is the word devil, actually. Devil comes from the Greek word for deceiver, right? So devil means deceiver, which again tells us one of the functions of Satan is to deceive people, tempt people, of no profit to people, right? Draws power from Baal. Like these are all the different, it's like Satan's like a diamond. These are all the different facets of Satan. But again, Satan is not this super high level, demon. He's just one of the demons. He's the chief demon because we learn from Ezekiel and other passages, he was the chief angel. He wasn't the archangel like Michael, but he was one of the head angels called Lucifer. So as the head angel, when he fell, well, naturally, the other angels that follow his leadership as Satan, the head demon. So he's the king of the demons while the other demons follow him.